Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Brennan, welcoming you to another edition of Honolulu on the Move, the show that brings you the latest news and information about the Honolulu Rail Transit Project. We're nearing completion of our Rail Operations Center out in Waipahu, which sits between Leeward Community College and Waipahu High School. And joining me today is my special guest, HART's project manager for the Rail Operations Center, Mr. Akira Fujita. Akira, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Bill, for asking me to be on your program.
Well, you're quite welcome. Tell me, what do things look like today out at the Rail Operations Center?
Well, right now we're in the point where, let's say that we have about 99% of our project completed. So what we're doing is doing minor work and trying to complete the project so that we can close the project. And this entails working with our sister company who's working on the project, which is Ensaldo. And our project is, of course, run by Kiewit Kobayashi joint venture, and they did a good job in meeting the schedule that we set for the completion of this project.
All right. And you've done all this work in basically 2.5 years, right? Because it was probably September of 2013 that we started back into construction.
That's correct. What happened was that this is a design-build contract. We were in design and just about starting construction. In fact, we clear and grub the site when the court order came out to stop construction.
Yes.
So after 13 months, which was the beginning of September of 2013, we started the construction. And of course, like all construction, the job entailed clear and grubbing and doing some heavy mass grading. In fact, when I appeared on this program earlier, we said we moved 250 cubic yards of material from cut to fill, and our project is known as a balanced project. In other words, there's no waste. We did not throw away any material. We did not bring in any material. In other words, the cut balanced the fill. So it was a big challenge, and we moved ahead, and at no time during the construction of our project did we stop for any particular reason.
So give me some idea of what things looked like out there in 2013. Was it just like a big empty field, or?
Oh yeah, the project was on a hillside. It was a former Navy drum site where they kept gas and other fuel on the site. And luckily for us, there were no contamination on the project when we started. But this was on a hillside. Elevation on top is about elevation 100. The bottom was elevation 30. So we had a 70-foot drop in that site. So we had a lot of heavy grading work to do. And luckily, the contractor came up with some innovative plan, and the mass grading effort took us 4 months rather than 6 months to complete.
Excellent. About how many people work on that project from start to finish?
Okay.
Would you say roughly?
Okay, I was very inquisitive because at one time we had a heck of a lot of people on site, and I asked the contractor, how many people are you have working, considering administrative work and everybody? And he came up with a figure of about 285 people working at one time.
Wow.
So that's a lot of people on site.
Yes.
And of course, our job was to oversee this project to make sure that the contractor was following contract specification and plans. That was our duty, and we worked well with the contractor in the sense that at the beginning of the job we said, guys, let's partner in this work so that you benefit from it and we benefit from what is being done. So luckily our job was finished on time.
Yes. That's a great attitude to have in that sort of work environment. And 285 people, I mean, one of the promises of the rail project is that it would produce jobs, and that
Correct.
people who maybe were sitting on the bench and not working would have the opportunity. And of course now the construction industry has gone sky high and through the roof, but 285 people working out there on that one job site is quite a number.
Yeah, that's a lot of people on site. And of course, like all construction site, one of the biggest problem was finding parking for the workers. And luckily, we worked with LCC, and that's another thing. we had neighbors on either side of us that were public institutions, so we made sure environmentally that we took care of the two major things, which was dust control and noise,
Yes.
to satisfy our neighbors, and we work well as far as that's concerned. And as far as parking during construction, we worked with LCC and said, hey, let us borrow some parking areas for the workers, and everything turned out perfect.
Right. As far as dust goes, do you have like water tanks, or water trucks moving throughout the day spraying, and
Okay,
is that how that's done?
that's right. And in the beginning of job, we had 2 water trucks on site. And after a while, when I observed that the two, it's in a hot area of Oahu,
Yes.
and because of that, the ground just dried off. As soon as you poured the water, it dried out. So I discussed this with Tom Broderick, our project manager for the contractor. We said, Tom, 2 trucks is not enough. And so we built to 3, then we went to 4, and
Wow.
at some time we had 5 water trucks going all over the place.
Wow.
And that kept the dust down to a manageable level.
And how about the noise? How do you address the noise issue?
Okay, as far as noise, most of the equipment, when you back up the equipment, you make extra noise. So
Yes.
we try to keep the equipment from moving forward and not too much backing up in the construction period.
Right. What other challenges does a project like this bring that's kind of unique? Because the rail project here in Honolulu is unique. That
That's
we
correct.
haven't
That's
had one.
correct.
So I'm wondering what other sort of challenges that are
Well,
unique to this facility.
Okay, on this project, like the first 3 projects that went out to contract, the 2 guideway contracts and our rock contract, the biggest problem is the magnitude of the project. It was so big, cost-wise as well as activity-wise. We're talking 43 acres of land. That's
Yes.
a heck of a large piece of possible land. So managing the construction, making sure that all of the buildings are moving in a timely manner. We had weekly meetings with the contractor with a schedule, and say, are you meeting schedule? What are some of the hang-ups? And you have essentially many problems that pop up, and we address that problems in a regular manner to make sure that there's no stoppage in construction. I think that's the biggest challenge, was moving so that you don't have any delays,
Yes.
because delays cost money.
Yes, they do. Well, congratulations on that.
Oh, thank
for
you so much.
Yes. So we know what it was like 2.5, 3 years ago, maybe even before then.
Mm-hmm.
And give us some idea of what that site looks like today.
Oh, today it's a beautiful site. Bill, I'm so proud of the fact that a facility like this, and I have to thank the contractor because they are the builders. We oversee their activities to make sure that it's done properly.
Yes.
But when I see the site today, I feel so proud of the 4 major operational buildings that we have. The 144,000 square foot operations and maintenance building, which takes care of, this being the automated, oh, here it is. This being the so-called, the biggies as far as the project is concerned. They will manage and control every train that's going to be traveling on the railway itself, on the line itself. And it's going to be a totally automated system. And our yard is also going to be totally automated yard. We have some areas that's not, you have to drive through, but essentially it's an automated yard.
Right.
And we're going to have the maintenance of the fleet. We're going to have the storage of the trains on the tracks itself,
Right.
as we talked about it. And here's the maintenance area of that train. I mean, the rock building itself.
The operations
The operation
end.
and maintenance building. And you can see the train in there, but this is the maintenance area of it. 2 bays. Actually, we have 4 bays, but this is 2 bays for the trains that do the regular maintenance of the train itself.
That's really a big space, isn't it?
Oh yeah, the length is about the size of length of a football field, so
Yeah.
it's very large.
Then outside,
And outside we have tracks leading into the bays itself, and here's a view of the train that's just outside of the building, just coming out of the building, and it's a beautiful scene.
Yes, it is. We also have this building.
Okay, the maintenance of way building, the function of the maintenance of way building is these are the guys that's going to be maintaining the tracks itself during the dead period. When I say the dead period, the train is going to be traveling and in operation from 4 in the morning until midnight.
Yes.
From 12 to 4, these guys that's going to be that's in this building going to be maintaining the guideway itself to assure that every inch or every foot of the track is in good working orders. The other duties that the guys from that building has is they're going to be maintaining all of the stations themselves during the dead period, making sure it's a clean facility and it's a safe facility.
Right. And is there specialized equipment to do that kind of work?
That's right. We, in fact, last week I think it was, they got some special equipment. When you say equipment, it's rail cars that's going to be used for the maintenance purposes.
Okay. And those will be housed here?
That's correct.
Those
It's going to be housed.
Okay, and what's this building?
This is a train wash facility, and the thing about it's so large in comparison to a car wash. You know, this thing will house. Here we go.
Wow.
This building will house the whole 4-car set. In other words, there are going to be 4 trains joined together, and that's a set of trains, and it'll fit in this so-called train wash facility.
That's like 260 feet of
That's
train.
correct.
Yes?
That's correct.
And how often do we wash those cars?
Okay, right now we're talking about washing the car once a week, and sometimes maybe if you have rainy weathers and it requires more than one wash a week.
Do you have to pay more for a wax?
I don't know about that. That's a good question.
Okay, I was just kidding.
Really?
but
No,
yeah.
but even though you're kidding, you know, it's an important function.
Yes.
But the interior of the train is going to be cleaned daily to
Yes.
assure that we have something that people is going to enjoy riding.
This is the tiniest building out there.
Yeah, this guy is only about 2,000 square feet, but it has a real big duty. In other words, all of the trains have wheels, and even though it's a steel wheel, because of the stop and go type of thing, the wheels become deformed a little bit, and these guys here is going to keep the wheels round so that you have a smooth ride while you're riding the train.
Now, you know, in the forefront of this picture, oh, I'm sorry, if we could go back, there's that little blue sign that says derail right there. What does that mean?
I really don't know what the sign derail means, but the the tracks goes right through the building.
Right.
So, you know, when you say derail,
Is that some sort of safety feature,
yeah,
perhaps?
I think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. And then we have one more look at this grand 43-acre site out there in Waipahu.
You know, I always, when I see this photo here, I always tell myself, look at the size of the track for Waipahu High School, the
Yes.
stadium itself.
Right,
We can fit many of that on a 43-acre site. That's how large the site is.
right.
And we have about 5 miles of tracks on site. In other words, all 80 trains during the dead period will be parked inside of this facility here.
Right.
And one of the things that we did during design was I demanded that we should at least have 25% more capacity than we need initially, because if we do add more cars, it'll be possible to store it in this building, this facility.
Right. That's quite something to see where it's come in 2.5 years.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful site, Bill, and I'm sure that the people that's going to be working in the, by the way, one more thing.
Sure.
We've talked to with Senator Dela Cruz leading the way. We're talking about training our younger people, both in the high school level and at LCC, to work or study to become part of this operational group so that they, you know, the local people can assume the duties of operating the train itself.
Right.
And so we're doing our best to, and we're talking about when the facility is completed, what we're designing and construction now, we're going to be utilizing roughly 300 people on this site.
We'll have permanent jobs
That's
out there.
right.
That's where they'll go to work every day.
That's correct.
Right?
That's correct.
Tell me a little bit about the Rail Operations Center itself.
The Rail Operations Center is a very unique center because it has two major duties. One is control all of the trains that's traveling on the track itself. Also, these guys over there are monitoring all of the cameras that's going to be in the yard, on the train, in the stations, to assure that we are providing all the safety requirements, not only on a train, in the stations, so that if anything happens, boom, they press the red button and there's going to be somebody to assist them.
Right.
So because it's a driverless train and it's automated, we need this type of thing. And we're talking in terms of 1,500, 1,600 cameras on the total location. So
Right.
this is a major feature.
And I don't think it's one that we can emphasize enough.
That's correct.
Because here in Honolulu, people for public transportation take the bus.
That's
and They
right.
have a bus driver
That's right.
who they can kind of count on for emergency. In an emergency, someone will stop the bus or pull it over
Yeah.
or call 911 or lend some assistance. But with a driverless system, I think one of the questions we hear often is about safety
and security. That's
because
correct.
they can't imagine no driver, like what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But you point out there's call buttons on each train car.
At all the stations, so
Yes.
and in the yard. So we feel that safety and security is, I would say, the major or number one issue on the operations of the train.
Right. How about during the construction? Was a pretty safe operation for you out there, all things considered?
Yes, I think we were way below the national average on accidents on site. In fact, I don't think we lost maybe a day or two on not coming to work because of injury.
Wow.
And
That's an excellent record.
Yeah, and so we're very proud of our safety record. In other words, the contractor themselves stress safety, and they had every Monday morning that safety meetings to assure that everybody better be on their toes and
Right.
not get into conditions where accidents do happen.
Right. Now, we were out there last month for a morning news television show
That's correct.
that looked really, really good. So where exactly on the grounds did that show take place?
What's that again?
Where exactly on the 43-acre site was
Oh,
that?
okay. That show was held at our so-called OSB building, Operations Servicing Building, and I thought that show went so well, Bill. And thanks to you for coordinating that shindig. And I thought that, and the people on Hawaii Now was very, very pleased with the help that we could provide for them.
But that took a lot of extra effort on the part of you and your staff out there to be on site and help with the setup of a show like that.
Yeah, I think everybody was happy to help because we're here to really support our program and do everything we can to make it successful.
Right. And now, do you have people coming out to see the facility, or do we have to wait a little while to make sure all the loose ends are tied up before we can do something like that?
Okay, as far as tours and visits, we during the construction period, our senator from Hawaii in Congress, Senator Mazie Hirono, came and said, the first time I was here, my shoes got muddy, and he said today when she came for the unveiling, she laughed and said, "Oh, it's beautiful today."
Yes.
So that showed, that was only about a year difference in her coming to the site, and she said, "Boy, this facility looks so nice after that visit the last time she was here." So we're really proud of the fact that Our facility looks so beautiful. And again, it's effort by the contractor, it's effort by our team, it's effort by our administration, our management team. Thanks to Dan Grabowskis for leading us. And it's a total participation of everybody. And thanks to you, Bill, for helping out in those efforts.
Of course, Akira. I think it's one of the feathers in our project's hat to have that facility up and built so well and relatively quickly. 2.5 years is
Yep.
a relatively short time to
Oh,
build
yeah.
all that we've seen today.
Yeah, I think so, Bill, and I want to thank the public for being patient in seeing our construction through, and I think we got a great facility.
Right. What is it you're most proud of out there, Akira?
Well, there's several things. One is that we were able to work with the contractor, and partnering, I think, was an important part of our relationship. In other words, working with the contractor, we have issues, we'd sit down and said, how can we solve this problem so that it's the most economical way of solving the problem, and we have progress going on without stopping. That's one thing. The other thing is that we had a team. Our management team, or the team that I was supervising, was very, very happy to participate in our effort in overseeing the project. And these guys, we had a team, that we had a family really
Yes.
in working through the conclusion of the problem. And these guys were taught not to give the contractor a hard time, but working with them to come up with the best product that we can have.
Right.
So those are two separate items that were very important in the completion of this project.
Is there anything you think you might do differently than you did if, as you look back on it now and when it's all POW?
Well, the one thing I regret is I'm so old that I cannot participate again on a project of this magnitude. But
It's a great one to end on, though.
yeah,
Akira.
it's a fantastic project. And, I'm really proud that we came up with a product that's so nice.
Yes. Yeah. What remains to be done? You
Okay.
mentioned a little
Okay,
punch list, like
yeah,
loose
yeah.
ends, kind of to
Our
tie
job
up.
right now is punch list. The contractor is so proud of what he accomplished. He locks the doors to make sure that when the fire marshals come in to check and approve the facilities, that it's perfect. Nothing is perfect, but he wants to make it as close to perfect as he can. So, yes, one of the things that we're looking for is to get that fire marshal so we get substantial completion. Substantial completion, of course, is getting approval that the major work has been done. And punch list items are scratches in a wall that you're going to have to repaint, dents in the wall that,
You have to
or the
work on.
door not hanging properly, the keys are not working properly,
Right.
and things of that nature, which is, we have hundreds of those locations that we have to repair, but it's not big stuff. It's,
Yes.
you get a
All small.
brush and you just clean, and so it's minor work right
Yes.
now that's remaining.
I remember there was talk of this facility being contributing to the green nature or the sustainable
Okay.
nature of our project. What kind of features out there?
Okay, one of the things that when we started this project under a design build contract, we promised that we're going to deliver this product, that what we're constructing, as a silver certified project. So
Right, with the LEED standard.
yeah, so, and that's a very high requirement. So those were the things that environmentally we tried to meet and tried to obtain, and right now we are on the verge of getting civil certification.
Oh,
for the
good for
project.
you. Yes.
So we do have someone that's checking on the lead issues on this
Okay.
project to assure that we are meeting all the requirements on lead.
Right. We're out of time, my friend.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Bill.
Okay. And on behalf of all of us on the project team, I want to thank you for joining us today. And we'll see you again next time for another edition of Honolulu on the Move.
If you have a question you'd like us to answer on our next Honolulu on the Move show, go ahead and hit us up on Twitter or Facebook, just two of the places where you can stay informed with up-to-date information on the Honolulu Rail Transit project. And you can view our latest project videos on our YouTube channel. If you'd like more information on the project, or would like a presentation to your group or organization, give us a call at our project hotline at 566-2299 or contact us via our website at honolulutransit.org. You'll be able to keep up with the latest news and information about the project, important meeting dates, times, and locations, and examine the official documents that are guiding the project's planning and construction. Take some time to visit honolulutransit.org.